Hi, morning. Welcome to All Four Queens. Hope everyone's doing really well. I just wanted to, I haven't posted my other one yet and I will post it, but I just wanted to sort of do a bit of an overview on God works in mysterious ways. I think we all know where we're at the minute, and I just wanted to sort of make a point. This is obviously a spiritual session, and obviously when you come across my channel, whilst I'm not reading the tarot yet, I'm putting it out in terms of tarot. I am talking spiritual, so obviously if you're not quite sure what I'm talking about, then maybe reach out, or just, it may not be your right time to be watching me. But what I'm trying to sort of say is, when we see things in the physical, some things are an illusion. Spiritual things happen in the spiritual before they happen down here, so as above so below. So I just wanted to get that out there. Also, people operate with ill intent, and they do things behind the scenes that they think are hidden, but actually they're not. And what we've got to remember is God is all seeing, isn't he? He sees everything, beginning and end, alpha and omega. So and also, if you're new to the channel, God created the devil. So, and I think for the last thousands of years, we've all been operating in this illusion that you can do what you like, where you like, and there's no consequences, and everything is hidden, and that's just not true. So what he actually does, he allows you, he gives you the temptation. And he works with the devil, as I said in previous ones, Job. He'll give you the temptation because he knows your weakness and he knows your heart anyway, and he knows what you're going to do before you do it. But obviously, we all have generational curses and we all have karmic debt. So the challenge now is, are you going to make a different choice, or are you going to go and do exactly what you did before in a different vessel? So remember, we're talking spiritual and we're talking spirit. We're not talking the vessel, because we do not fight, the flesh. It is spiritual. So we've all got a spiritual part of ourselves, and we've all got karmic debt. So have you learnt the lessons in this lifetime, in the vessel that you're in, to do things differently rather than do what you did before? And in some cases, some people have and some people haven't, and some people have decided to carry on in the same state, thinking that they can still do what they want to do and get away with it, steal, cheat, lie, whatever it is, do all those things that were probably part of their lineage. But we were all here to sort of break those curses and patterns, and just disrupt how we do things. So with that said, I just wanted to sort of put a couple of things out there. So we all know that everything happens in divine timing. Now, what's divine timing? For me, divine timing is when things are aligned planetary. So things that have happened in certain seasons when the planets were in a certain position means that divine timing is when those planets go back into that position. That's when, i.e., things get returned, i.e., year of infinity. 2024 I said is the year of infinity. So everything that was done is now being returned, because people didn't do the right thing and clear the karma and the generational curse. They just kept doing and doing and doing and doing behind the scenes. Well, behind the scenes that they thought were behind the scenes, and doing things in spirit, and conjuring up stuff and paying people to do things, and manipulation, and using the tongue to create lies and slander. But as I've said before in previous ones, everything you put out comes back. So now, divine timing, karmic return, and also I want to also make a point as well, and you'll see it on other readers. To continue to do stuff when we're in Saturn return and then Mercury retrograde is probably the most silliest thing I could possibly think, really, because Saturn return is about karma anyway, but you actually continue to do stuff when you're in year of infinity and you're in Saturn return. So I'd be mindful, really, but hey ho, I'm just the teacher. I'm just here to just give guidance. If you want to continue to carry on, that's up to you. But as you can see, I'm still here, so whatever your plan is. And also, the cycle's closed, 999. So we're in a new cycle now. And the old cycle and the old behaviour it's gone. So maybe you want to just sit and reflect and maybe go within a little bit, maybe. So ascension and awakening, what does that mean? So obviously, when you start to awaken, you start to see things differently, and you start to think things differently, and you'll probably see where I've said thoughts, words and actions. So you'll start to just reflect, and the world's different, and you see things differently. And I will do a separate session on that, because in my book I write a little bit about my experience, but I only write about the experience that I went through in COVID. However, I've had various ascensions, hence why people thought they were doing things in secret. I just didn't speak about it. I knew what they were doing, and I knew who was doing it and why they were doing it. I just didn't speak about it because it wasn't divine timing. I'll move that out of the way. It wasn't divine timing, so I didn't need to. And also, I understand how karma works, and I understand that revenge is not mine, because this is spiritual. So, and God resides in the spiritual realm, and he sees everything. So for me, vengeance is mine, said the Lord. So I don't need to avenge you, because I know how karma works. What you put out is what you get back, and you keep building it up and building it up and building it up, and when it comes back, it's going to come back like a rocket, or like a tower, but in reverse, in the tarot deck. So I know how it works. So I'm very mindful of that. The rabbit hole. You can't serve two gods, God and money. And I think in my previous one, which I haven't uploaded yet, you'll see that the universe is abundant, and it's abundant for everybody. We all have a vortex. Your vibration attracts what you want. So if you're on a lower vibration, you're going to get low vibrational stuff. If you're on a higher vibration, you're going to get what you want. So the more you manifest what you want, but at a higher vibration, then you're going to get it. And the universe is abundant. So what you put out is what you get back. It's just common sense. So I want to tell you now, I've been observing the years of scheming, the years of plotting, the years of conspiring to steal and to abuse emotionally, and to kill emotionally, obviously, and spiritually. Remember, this is spiritual. You know, with your magic and your practitioners and your cults and your covens and your secret societies and your organisations. I've been observing everything, and I've been cloaked. Because I tell you why I was cloaked, because God knows your intention before you even know it. So he knew the people that didn't have good intentions, as did I. But sometimes you have to fool the fool that thinks they're fooling you, don't you? So, you know, that's just the way it goes. So I want to just give you a little bit of an insight as well. When I watch tarot, I'm watching it for you, because obviously I know you tapped into my broadband. But also, when you think you're isolating somebody or ostracising somebody, you're actually doing God's work, because God doesn't want people around his people that are liars and are cheats and are thieves, unless you repent. And some of you have chosen not to do that. So, but also, rejection is spiritual protection. So when you all thought you were all locking people out and, you know, isolating people and doing all your deeds in the background, thinking you were winning, and you're laughing and you ha and all whatever, and you're stealing of money and everything else, I was in spiritual protection and I was doing the work. You know, the work that you're now being forced to do through karma, which is probably worse, because actually it's better to go willingly than being forced to do it and reflect. And some of you probably haven't made it, to be fair, because I said in the very, very early one, you know, 30 years of karma coming back. Well, actually, no, 30 years plus of karma coming back. So I'm going to have to piece this because obviously I'm on an old camera and it cut out. So I've talked around the 30 years of karma coming back, or 30 plus years of karma coming back. But I guess the question there is what you've been putting out towards one person, and there's been a lot of you around the world throwing stuff out. You've got to ask yourself a question, haven't you? Where's your protection? And the previous one, I said that our protection spiritually is our ancestors. So if you've done something against them, where's your protection? Karma. When you get into karma. And when I say be mindful, I'm not saying it to be facetious. I'm saying it, be mindful. So the other thing that I wanted to sort of touch on as well, which is coming up in Tarot Land now, is the inheritances, the blocking people out of what's rightfully theirs, the fake marriages, the fake deaths, the honeypot trail, paying people to isolate or leave people, and basically bringing people into your web, but also they're now going to take on your karma and the years that it's been going on. So they're not only going to have their own karma because they were tempted, because remember, it's a temptation by the devil, and the test is whether you take the temptation or you don't. And I would say that everyone in my life, you had karma to clear, and therefore you were given a test, a temptation and a test to see whether you're going to do it differently this lifetime, and quite a lot of you chose not to. The other thing I want to say as well is sex, and I think I mentioned that on the other one. Sex is used as a weapon, and it's used very much to manipulate, blackmail, and get into high places to control the narrative in terms of fake documents and, you know, fake profiles and all that sort of fancy stuff. And, you know, that's what people do in this world that's an illusion, to create a narrative that suits their own purpose. But like I said, the universe is abundant. If you operate on a higher vibration, you'll get what you want anyway, and you'll get it from your own lineage. But what people tend to do is they tend to operate on a low vibration and just steal from everyone else, but use networks and societies and organisations to do so, to achieve their goal. But 2024, it's coming down. It's coming down. You know, there's a new world that needs to be built, and your part in that is to just operate from the place of heart, really, and look at things as they are, not as they're being presented, and use your own discernment and your own intuition. Too many people are too quick to listen to the opinions of others, and they allow the opinions of others to run their life. But what you've got to ask yourself is, are those people doing for you because it's positive, or are they doing it to hinder you? And in the words of Tupac Shakur, you know, keep people close to you who want more for you, not more from you. I think that's so powerful, because, you know, we do live in a world where people are quite happy to sabotage other people because they don't want people to be happy, or they've got an agenda, or it's past life and it's a karmic debt that needs to be cleared, whatever it is. But, you know, we're all here on our own journey, and, you know, we've all got our own lives to lead. So lead your life the way you want to lead it. And that means if you want to stay in the dark, absolutely fine, but just be honest about it. And if you want to move to the light, then obviously you know what you need to do to get there. The other thing that I wanted to talk about was betrayal. Now, you hear a lot in the community, oh, you know, I've been betrayed, da, da, da. And I said in the very first one, betrayal, it's about perception. It's how you see it. And when you start to awaken, you start to see things differently. So for me, I don't feel betrayed. I feel awakened, and it's been validation for what I've already known. The betrayal doesn't sit with me, because I don't carry that burden. That's not my burden to carry. You know, people have shown themselves to who they are, and that's you know, karma. You know, we're here to learn lessons. So I think for me, if somebody has, you know, done something against you and you feel the pain of it, and I'm not saying you shouldn't feel the pain of it, because, you know, that's part of healing, and you go within and you understand where that pain comes from, but the betrayal isn't yours to carry, and it's not a burden that you should carry. That is the karma that the other person will carry, and the heavy weight that comes with it. But you shouldn't live your life feeling that, you know, you've been aggrieved. What you've actually been done is you've been saved from people that are not necessarily going to treat you well. So look at it a different way spiritually. So the other thing that I'm seeing is this, and I saw this in the dream state, was that I saw lots of, like, I was in this main high street, and there was lots of buildings just blowing up all over the place. Now I think that was just it wasn't factual, but it was just basically what's going on in terms of the chaos and conflict. When people are throwing out so much chaos and conflict magic, you can imagine what that's going to do. So obviously it's got to go back somewhere, and so wherever it's come from is going back, and this is all your secret societies, your organisations and everything else. So, and the people, you know, who have decided to do it as well. So that's what I'm seeing at the minute, and you can see there's a bit of like 9 of Swords, 10 of Wands going on at the minute. And then there's the karmic justice, but karma is in reverse. So, you know, it's bad karma that's being dished out at the minute. And this isn't me dishing it out. This is God dishing it out. Your ancestors dishing it out. You know, the defending angels are dishing it out. Because where the physical world is being manipulated into an illusion and being controlled, the spiritual realm isn't controlled. And there's still a fight of light and dark there. So I think that's the point really that I'm trying to make, is that fact that, you know, there isn't just one realm. And, you know, the power of prayer is so important when we're fighting spiritual warfare, because our prayers are what keep us safe, and, you know, they're heard in the spiritual realm. And, you know, you pray for your ancestral lineage, you pray for yourself, you pray for those close to you, and you pray, you know, that light will overshadow dark, because we want a world where it's light. We want a world where our children are safe and they're not going to be taken into some nefarious system and manipulated and used and potentially abused. You know, I'll say the word, like myself, for the wrong reasons. You know, children should have a happy beginning, so that when they get older, they've got good structure and they've got good boundaries and they know themselves. You know, that's the world that we want. You know, I want children to have a happy childhood, to be able to get into their adulthood and be strong leaders. That's the point, and that's why we're here. Our experiences and our knowledge is there to help them grow and get there, not to use them as vessels for energy harvesting. But I'll talk about that on a separate one. You know, there is a lot of things that are done that, you know, it just isn't the world that we want to be in. So, you know, moving on. So, the lessons. Let's talk about the lessons. So in all of what I've said, and I mean, I will break it down into more detail. What I'm not going to do is share my whole story yet. I mean, the book obviously is a skim of my little childhood, but I'm not going to share my whole story because it's not right. It's not the right timing yet. But and we all know when it's the right timing, you know, intuitively. If you tap in, you know when the timing's right and when it isn't. So the lesson: family, friends, colleagues, you know, strangers, whoever it is, business associates, whoever it is that has been enticed by temptation, and, you know, he knew who you were before you even decided to do it, and your test was greed, integrity and loyalty, but of yourself first, not of me, of yourself first. And obviously there was a reason why you were given that test, and that was probably to break your generational curses and your karmic debt. So, you know, that's the point of all this. It's like, you know, when you start watching tarot, you start to think about, oh, he left me, and you know, it's about the boyfriend, and it's not, it's bigger than that. It's what, if you're on the path of God, then you'll know it's a lot bigger than that. It's not just about, you know, what he's doing. I mean, yeah, we all want to know sometimes, but sometimes you've got to let go of that energy as well. I watch it for the people that are watching me, so that they understand what energy is and how it works. Yeah, but you know, that it you know, it is what it is. But it's just, you know, it's a bit bigger than just you know, tarot reading and the boys and stuff. And the other thing that I'm not going to do as well is, I've got some really great readers I watch, but I'm not going to share their name. And the reason why I'm not going to do that is, when you're on this spiritual journey, when you tap in with your guides, they will give you the cue as to when you do things, i.e. your synchronicities. So if I share people with you that I watch, then that might deter you off your path. You need to look out for the ones that your guides are sending you, because I know we get into that thing once we start getting into it, we get a bit consumed by every reader. But be mindful of the readers that your guides are sending to you, because within that there's a message, and they want you to see that message. What they're not asking you to do is look at all the others. And that's not taken away from the viewings from all the others, but it's just using your intuition and using your own discernment on your own journey, because your story will be different to my story, and therefore everybody else's story. So, you know, it's important to tap into your guides and be aligned with them first and foremost, and align with yourself first and foremost before you watch any other reader, including myself. You know, I'm not reading as such, but I'm speaking and channeling, you know, what I've been told to do, and I know the cards, so I can tell you what card would be the reflection of it. So so that's where I am today. There's loads of other stuff. I've got loads of stuff on jealousy and envy and all that sort of stuff to put out, but obviously I am using a camera that doesn't have a lot of memory, so I'll have to see if I can upload it. But obviously, like I say, there's somebody on my laptop who just wants to know what I'm doing. It feels a little bit like Silence of the Lambs, if I'm honest. You know that part in Silence of the Lambs where he gets the skin and he's sewing it together? That's pretty much what it. So video number 3. What I was saying was, it feels a little bit like Silence of the Lambs, where, you know, that guy pieces the skin together. It's like someone wants to actually be in my skin and wants to be me. So yeah, welcome to spiritual warfare. I'm fully protected by the spiritual realm, so you know, it is what it is. But yeah, this is how it is, and you know, those on the physical get drawn into it. So hey ho. The other part that I just wanted to, before I sign off, was I started with God works in mysterious ways. Now, what did I mean by that? What I mean by that is, he knew exactly who was going to be tempted and who was going to fail the test and who was going to pass the test. So what he's basically done, and it's quite clever really if you think about it, he's got everybody together. One person used their ego to be able to draw everybody in to karma.